Okay, here we are on West Park Drive and South Rice Drive. There's South Rice to the left where we're about to turn. The El Pollo Loco is located in the Walmart shopping center on a Walmart parcel. There you have the El Pollo Loco. There's a Marriott and a Micro Center right behind it. So as you can see, this is kind of a classic Texas freeway underpass, and we're about to turn left. So let's go. Okay, here we are. We've turned left onto South Rice Avenue. There's the El Pollo Loco on your left. You can't turn left easily into that lot, and that is by design. You'll see that in a second. Chick-fil-A is also there. You'll see there's no access there as well. They want you to get to these restaurants through the Walmart turnoff. Right across the street, there's the Raising Cane's, which is in a Sam's Club lot. And we have a very nice apartment complex that stretches out quite a ways. And we're going to wait our turn and turn left into the Walmart lot. So we're turning into the lot. Again, there's a Starbucks, AT&T, and a Joint Chiropractic over here. To the left, we have this nice new Chick-fil-A. And ahead of us, we have the Walmart. It's not the biggest Walmart I've seen, but it's a pretty decent size. Looks like people in this town really love their chicken. This is quite busy. Very busy parking lot over here, this Chick-fil-A. Again, here's the Marriott. Now we're gonna go over to our El Pollo Loco. It is 12:30 p.m. and there is no one in the drive-thru. Oh, we got one guy in the drive-thru. That's promising. Over here we have a Micro Center. It's a computer place that I'm going to turn around in. Maybe get some shots of the property. So Chick-fil-A is hopping, and El Pollo Loco is, has some action, but it's not hopping. I'm gonna go inside and see what there is to see. Okay, so before we go inside, I wanted to show you the exterior. There are some empty parking spaces. There are a lot of people leaving from next door. Chick-fil-A reminds me of In-N-Out in its popularity here. It's very, very jam-packed. There's a lot of cross traffic. But the El Pollo Loco does have customers, and it is a good-looking building. So let's go ahead inside. Okay, not a lot of customers, but there are people in here, and they're all Hispanic, surprisingly. Okay, it was my intention to walk around and show you the area, but it started to downpour very quickly. So we're driving away from the El Pollo Loco. It's on the right. You can see we're in the Micro Center lot. This is a computer and technology store. And as you can see, this is the Marriott, which services a hospital, which I'll show you is nearby later. There's been a slow trickle of people going into the El Pollo Loco, but by comparison, this Chick-fil-A has nonstop action. It is the lunch hour still. It's a little bit past 1:30 at this point, but the only other fast food joint I've ever seen this popular is an In-N-Out. Going further, we are about to cross the main entryway into the Walmart, and you will see the Starbucks and the AT&T shop and a few other retail stores ahead of us. There is a second building here, which is the urgent care facility, but really we're heading this way so we can see the Jack in the Box. I went into this Jack in the Box, and the same way that I said there were a lot of Mexicans in the El Pollo Loco, I was the only white person in this Jack in the Box. It was very empty, and they were all black people inside, both working there and eating there, surprisingly. But there were fewer here. It was a much less occupied fast food joint than the El Pollo Loco and significantly lesser than the Chick-fil-A. So if there is a tier system, it goes Chick-fil-A, El Pollo Loco, and then this Jack in the Box. Okay, leaving the Jack in the Box, you can see it on your right, and the Remington Park Apartments on your left. We have the Starbucks on your right again, but I'm showing you this view so that we can then turn into the Sam's Club lot to see the competition of the Raising Cane restaurant and to see if there's just a bunch of Texans who love their chicken, and it turns out that it does seem as if chicken is a more popular fast food joint than, say, burgers, surprisingly. I would say, again, if I had to adjust that tier system, it would be Chick-fil-A, and then this Raising Cane, and then El Pollo Loco, and then Jack in the Box. So El Pollo Loco has been dumped to third. I want to show you the Sam's Club. That's a gas station on site, and then clearly this is the Sam's Club in the back. It is about as big, if not bigger, than the Walmart. Okay, just to belabor the point, I wanted to show you how busy this area is. It's about 1:30 p.m. and there's the El Pollo Loco and the Chick-fil-A, but it's just a very busy little intersection here. There's a freeway entrance where all these cars are heading towards. There's a residential area down that street called Bel Air, and obviously here's the gas station, and here's the Cane's, the Raising Cane's chicken. It's a very busy area. I actually see that as promising. So should El Pollo Loco ever leave, I think that it's not going to be difficult finding another tenant for the space. Okay, if we were to have turned left out of the Jack in the Box and headed towards the residential area called Bel Air, this is where you would be looking at. This is still South Rice Avenue. I think it's Avenue. We have small homes, but also quite newer, larger homes. This seems to be an area that's undergoing active revitalization. There's a lot of construction, a lot of new homes being built, a lot of McMansions, like that one. It's a lot of homes for sale, new homes. So we'll go down one of these side streets so you can see what I'm talking about, but we're hitting a little bit of a more of a commercial interchange here, so we're going to do a little exploration. On one of the side streets within a mile of the Walmart. This looks brand spanking new, doesn't it? I mean, with all these established trees, though, it can't be. Yeah, here we go. This looks like the original neighborhood, and people are tearing down and rebuilding. That's about it, but it's still a nice neighborhood. Very nice. Yeah, we got a little more original homes, I think, over here, but pretty nice little neighborhood. Okay, we are leaving the residential area and turning onto a street called Beech Nut, trying to get back to South Rice Avenue. We're within a 2-mile radius at this point. We're in a more commercial corridor with established strip malls, and it seems a little upscale, and it seems to be obviously, frequented. Just ahead of us here, I'm not sure I'm going to get it on video, is another Chick-fil-A that is equally as popular and equally as busy as the one by the El Pollo Loco. Okay, this is us turning back onto South Rice Avenue from Beech Nut. I just wanted to give you a good idea of the length, the distance we are from El Pollo Loco, and to give you a better gist of the neighborhood. This is the high school, Bel Air High School to your left. We're going to come up on an elementary school soon to your right. There's a great deal of construction within and for, it looks like, the schools, you can see, but 'tis the season, it is summer. You can see it's a very cute little area, actually. There are lots, like I said, and like you've seen, there are a lot of little side streets, uh, side streets with a great deal of revitalization, new McMansions being built. But these are established little neighborhoods, and see, like this one, it's all one house. um, and yeah, you can see that there's this corridor, this street, South Rice, basically is a big suburb. Bel Air is. And this corridor is the only way for these people, mostly, for the most part, to get to the freeway. There's also a cross street called Bel Air Avenue, I believe, which is kind of a very nice, I think they're reaching for like a Texas tacky Rodeo Drive feel, maybe, but it's nicer for the area. There is another community called, I think, Gulfton, and it's right next door. It is much poorer. It's much more Hispanic, and you will be seeing that shortly. So I was hiding my phone there for a second because a policeman drove by. But when it lifts, you'll see that there's a elementary school, a nice elementary school on the right, and then on the across the street on the left, there on South Rice Avenue, a massive block of just complete tear down and new buildings. Actually, the following block, there's a massive rebuilding, a new building, new construction as well. What you're seeing here is South Rice Avenue, this corridor that leads this suburb to the freeway, is getting a big overhaul, a very big overhaul. And just a reminder, we are heading back towards El Pollo Loco. Okay, so we're still going down South Rice. I just had to stop for a second because of that policeman. But you're seeing there's a Wells Fargo. We're heading into a little commercial district, a Chevron, Walgreens. There's a grocery store in there. Just a more commercially centered district in the middle of South Rice. Still going down South Rice. We're about to transition out of this nicer, revitalized area, the Bel Air area. And there's just a small little portion, not quite yet, you can see it's still nice, but we're about to go into more of an industrial district, which I'll show you on a map shortly. There's going to be some auto shops and some empty properties too. So we'll see that very shortly, but you'll see the sharp bifurcation. You just saw a bunch of mansions, and you go up one block, and then boom, there's a mansion to the right, but across the street, look at that. We have just these older shops, older strip malls, empty buildings, as you can see here, another empty building. And a car wash. So you can see it's sort of a sharp line. And we're going to cut to another block up. This is just a massive lot. They're about to do construction, tear this all down. I'm not sure what they're building, and I will look into it. But you can see more of the same. We have, this is sort of auto shops, more industrial areas, older homes to the right. I'll show you on a map what this looks like as far as its location in relation to both the El Pollo Loco and that residential community I was showing you. But it's a very sharp line, as you can tell. And here up ahead, you can see we're back at the Walmart lot. That was the Jack in the Box, and the apartments to the left, the urgent care, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, and of course, El Pollo Loco. So another thing, this freeway ahead of you, if we go under that underpass, we get to Uptown, which is something I want us to talk about next. Okay, so now we're transitioning under the underpass to get us to Uptown. This whole Walmart shopping center was actually part of a big master plan for the Uptown area. So there's been a great deal of work. There's a huge master plan that I got to look through, but they're working on allowing better public transit access to the area. But it's a very popular retail and shopping area, lots of restaurants, lots of bars, and lots of expensive living. So it looks like Uptown is starting to creep down and revitalize south of this freeway system. Okay, here we go under the freeway. You can go left and hop on the 59/69 freeway. You could have also taken West Park over to the toll road. As you can see, there's a lot of construction, and this is part of the master plan rebuild. They're working on giving greater access to public transportation in the area. You're going to see more of that as we look through this. This is just the edge of Uptown. Lots of apartments, lots of hotels, lots of big banks, but it's very well established, and we're approaching a road called Richmond, which is one of the few swankier areas for shopping here. All right, taking a right on Richmond Avenue, you can start to see how things are a little bit nicer. We are seeing strip malls here, but this is, again, just the edge of this area. And you can see to the left through that foggy glass that there are high-rises that are both retail and condos. Here's a fun fact. This is on the corner of Richmond, and I think it's called Post something or other. But this is actually where the Chick-fil-A by our El Pollo Loco used to be. I did a little digging, and because of all this construction, which is part of the master plan, as you can see by the sign, they moved in anticipation of all of this road work being done that could have hurt their business. Okay, we are back on West Park. This is the viewpoint if you were to have gone left, facing the freeway out of the El Pollo Loco South Rice direction. If you, instead of going under the freeway to get to Uptown, you were to go left. This is what I mean when I say that it's a little bit of a poorer area, just a couple, neighborhoods over. They really don't mess around with their freeway systems here, that's for damn sure, but this is more of a rental area and more Hispanic. Okay, we're sitting at West Park and Chimney Rock. We're trying to take a left on Chimney Rock so I can show you more of the sort of Hispanic area, sort of a poorer area. But this is kind of a pretty good gist. We're going to go under this overpass in just a quick minute. But in this Hispanic area, you have a lot of shops with names like El Pollo Taqueria, or Spanish named like Urgent Carencia. That's not fair or funny, but you start seeing some Hispanic named businesses. But it's not, incredibly poor, but they are rentals. The commercial looks a little bit worse for wear than the residential apartments do. But this is within the 3-mile radius of the El Pollo Loco. This area. So you go south a bit and you hit luxury. You go west a bit and you hit rental areas with more, Hispanic businesses. That's just the truth. So we are still on Chimney Rock. This is just a little bit more of the same. You can see these strip malls over here. This reminds me more of what I know of Texas, but this is just to give you a better viewpoint of everything that is available and that exists in the area. As you can see, it's not devastatingly poor, it's just poorer. And to be honest, I imagine this is more of the area that might be shopping at El Pollo Loco, considering the El Pollo Loco had Mexicans in it. Chick-fil-A had white people in it, and Jack in the Box had black people in it, and that was, granted, just within a few hours of a random day, but This was actually something I found interesting. We're taking a left here, and this Church's Chicken was very empty. Nice looking building, but kind of made me feel good about not buying a Church's Chicken. Don't know why, but it's a bad location anyway. But as you can see, we're starting to cross back into a more industrial area. There's more storage, there's more distribution centers, and this is right off of South Rice. We're about to cross over into South Rice after passing by this this public storage unit. So as you can see, there's sort of, this area looks like it's just gone through some work over the last 10 to 15 years, and it looks like it's growing in a positive direction. It's the school to your left, and here we are at South Rice. Okay, this is a one-way street called West Loop Freeway. They're expanding it as part of that master plan, as part of the Uptown project. I'm showing this to you to show you that this is the hospital. This is the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital, and there's a series of medical office buildings. I'm showing this to you just to explain why that Marriott exists. This is directly behind the Walmart. So it's within a 1-mile vicinity of the El Pollo Loco. And these are just medical offices, and I wanted you to be able to see it. This West Loop goes one direction on either side of this freeway to your left. One-way streets. Okay, we're doing something just a little bit different here. I wanted to show you on a map everything I just showed you in those videos. So this purple dot represents, this is the El Pollo Loco. So here's the Walmart, here's the Chick-fil-A, this is the Starbucks Center, the Urgent Care Center, and the Jack in the Box. This is South Rice Avenue, and we went under this freeway, as you can see. See, this is a massive freeway system. We went up this road a bit to Richmond Avenue, and I'm going to just show you a little bit about this uptown area. Richmond Avenue here and Westheimer Avenue here are two very big retail, restaurant, bar scene, as you can see, corridors. There are a lot of hotels in this area because apparently people come to this area to shop. It's a big shopping district, very big shopping district. But uptown stretches from this country club, Ooh La La, over kind of towards River Oaks, and then it ends right around here, the Bel Air Junction, and where our Pollo Loco is. This is sort of the large scoop. Uptown has gone under a massive master plan overhaul. They've been doing a lot. I read through it, and they've been doing a lot of work. Right now, their last big job, the reason for all this construction that you saw over here, this, if you remember that loop I showed you, that's the one-way loop, it goes right here. Here's the hospital that I told you about, the Spine and Orthopedic Hospital. It's right here. See, this is the El Pollo Loco. It's not that far from it, all those office buildings. So this big area here, with all this construction, they're trying to make dedicated bus loops to take people to from the more residential areas into the retail areas of Uptown. So they're working diligently, I would say. But I think because this has been about a 10 to 15 year overhaul up in Uptown and successfully done so, it's trickling down to the main thoroughfares like South Rice Avenue. So South Rice Avenue, again, this is where El Pollo Loco is. South Rice Avenue is, and this area of Bel Air down here, is just, they're tearing down old neighborhoods, old one-story tract homes and building McMansions all over, all down here. It's a big McMansion masterplex. It's pretty impressive. This is the industrial area that we walked through, that we went through where you saw the public storage, the new public storage facility, and some of the auto shops. That's this right here. This is the poor area that is more Hispanic in this general area. So it's, it's not too far off. And yeah, this is kind of what we're looking at. There's a whole lot of business up here, a lot of apartments up here. But really what I see is the main drive for this Walmart shopping center, at least in the lunch and dinner time, is actually going to be, you can't see this stuff from the freeways or from the toll roads. It's not visual. You're not going to get people hopping off the freeway to get here. This is neighborhood haunts. This is people who work in the area or live in the area who are coming to these restaurants. That is my argument, and I'm sticking to it because you can't see anything from the freeways. That they're all raised, as you saw from the underpasses that we went through. There's a couple retail corridors that cut right through, like Bissonnette has a lot of retail that cuts through the residential areas. Bel Air Boulevard this way has some kind of swanky, hipster type of retail shops and stuff. Even normal chain stores you would recognize has a hipster feel to it, to the front fascia of every the curb appeal is a little different than what you might be used to. But if you cross under the 610 here, the houses get even bigger on this end of the freeway. So you saw those McMansions off of South Rice I showed you, and we cut through a couple of these streets. And they're even bigger over here. So really what I'm thinking is, pros, this is a great little location in that it's in a very busy, you saw how many cars were jam-packed in there for Walmart and for everything else. It's a busy little corridor. I think if El Pollo were to leave ever, I think we could find someone to fit in there, and I think it would do well. However, I'm curious about how there were only Mexicans, about the racial change. It's unexpected. The white people were in the Chick-fil-A, the black people in the Jack in the Box, and the Mexicans were in El Pollo Loco. And why I find that strange and a little bit alarming is that we have a Hispanic community just over here. Why would you go to El Pollo Loco for food when you can get more authentic food over here from a taqueria? That is the question.